righty, it's just about time to go ahead and get started. Welcome back for another Y Senior Virtual Connect. Glad to see you guys here. And now we have these going to be posted. That'll be posted within a day or so to our site. And there's instructions in my Monday emails about how you can go back and watch this again. But I'd like to introduce our host, my co-host today, Joyce Figueroa. Did I pronounce it right, Joyce?
That was pretty good. Figueroa.
Figueroa, there we go. Figueroa. Joyce, Joyce and I have been talking for the last little bit about trying to get together because this is one of my great passions in our city is our greenways. And so I'm so excited that she was able to come on and meet with us today. She's with Mecklenburg County Parks and Rec. And she is involved, and she can tell you what she does better than I can, but she's involved in a lot of planning and acquisitions and knows a lot about what's going on in our city greenways. So I'm just gonna be quiet here and for the next little bit, turn everything over to Joyce. She's got a little presentation, PowerPoint and a little video, and she's actually even put some links in the chat box, so that's down there. So we have a small group, so it's easy enough to manage questions probably if you need them and want to ask anything as we go through or when Joyce gives you the opportunity to ask a question. All right, Joyce, thank you so much for being with us.
All right, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And, you know, again, I'm a planner with Mecklenburg County. And as a planner with our Capital Planning Services Division, we manage the process of from land acquisition to the funding, the planning, the design, and the construction of greenways. So I will share a presentation with you. You bear with me. Here we go. Okay. All right. Here we are. Again, thank you so much for having me. I will provide you with a general overview of greenways in Mecklenburg County. All right, so let's begin with an overview of greenways. Greenways are typically found in strips of undeveloped land in floodplains near urban areas that are set aside for recreational use or environmental protection. Greenways essentially are linear parks or trails that connect people and places by linking neighborhoods, offices, parks, schools, and shopping areas. These trails provide alternative ways to move through the city, suburbs, and through towns, both for recreation and for transportation. Greenways provide vegetated natural buffers that help protect water resources, air quality, and wildlife within our rapidly developing cities and towns. Mecklenburg County greenways are typically between 10 and 12 feet wide paved trails with 2 to 5 feet of mowed grass shoulders. Greenways are predominantly asphalt and often follow riparian corridors with sewer lines. Greenways aim to provide accessible routes with slopes that are less than 5% and accessible parking at trailheads. When terrain does not permit and our slopes are greater than 5%, resting areas are provided per our outdoor recreation accessibility guidelines and signage as needed. So we currently have 56 miles of greenway throughout Mecklenburg County for everyone to enjoy. They're open 24/7 and everyone is welcome. In the university area right here where the dotted circle is, we have our longest network of connected trails today with approximately 12 miles long of connected greenway that connect the Mallard Creek Greenway with the Clarks Creek and the Toby Creek and Barton Creek Greenway network. By 2023, Little Sugar Creek Greenway is projected to take the lead with approximately 50 miles of contiguous trails. So for those of you who may not be as familiar with our greenways, here are some images. Here's a beautiful view of Little Sugar Creek Greenway in the fall. Campbell Creek Greenway near W.T. Harris. McAlpine Creek Greenway in South Charlotte. Toby Creek Greenway in the University area. Torrance Creek Greenway in Huntersville. And our signature greenway, Little Sugar Creek Greenway, through the heart of Uptown Charlotte. These are just some of our greenways. We have many more. Here's some additional images of amenities you will likely find in our greenways. We typically use steel bridges to cross over creeks and boardwalks to cross over sensitive areas. While the surface of most of our greenway trails is asphalt, you will find that the trail surface over new bridges and boardwalks will be concrete per our new standards, and that's for safety measures and durability. Underpasses or grade separated crossings are typical in our greenway system when crossing a major road. These are images of an underpass at Tybola Road and an at-grade crossing through West Tybola Road. When possible, we try to continue greenways under roads for safety and to avoid disturbing the greenway experience. When it is not feasible, and through low volume roads, you will find at-grade crossings. These are examples of overland connectors or urban trails along roads that connect different greenways. These images illustrate a neighborhood entrance into a greenway and a parking lot trailhead entrance into a greenway. Some of the additional amenities you might find at our greenways include benches, doggy bags, trash cans, water fountains, bike racks, pocket parks, gardens, public art, and signage. We have a very elaborate wayfinding program that identifies our greenway system throughout the county for branding, greenway entrances, rules and warnings, mile markers, and for direction. At key locations, we also try to include a kiosk signage to show maps of the greenway rules and other important information. It is important to mention that paved walking and bike trails are the #1 requested amenity by the residents of Mecklenburg County. According to citizen surveys completed as part of our master planning process back in 2008, also in 2015, and most recently in 2020. Trails, greenways, #1 amenity requested by Mecklenburg County residents. The residents of Mecklenburg County love greenways and want more built faster. The passion and excitement for our greenways have led to a significant investment in greenway development. We currently have 40 miles of greenway funded at varying phases of development. This map shows the location of all the current greenway projects we're working on. The blue dots indicate projects which are funded through our 5-year capital improvement plan. And the magenta dots represent the 5 new projects that were funded last year to meet community demand and to increase access to our trail network. So our current master plan calls for 300 miles of greenway along creeks and streams throughout Mecklenburg County and 200 miles of urban trails along roads and through urban areas, also known as overland connectors, connecting greenways. To plan for the future of park and recreation amenities, we have embarked on a master planning process for our entire park and recreation system. Our last one was updated in 2015, so we're doing the new master plan now in 2020, and it includes greenways. This plan is called MEC Playbook, and we definitely invite you to get involved and have a voice in the future of parks and greenways in Mecklenburg County. So as we plan for the future, it is important to know that Mecklenburg County's greenway system is part of multiple regional efforts aiming to increase access to transportation and recreation to many across the region. The Cross Charlotte Trail is a partnership between Mecklenburg County and the city of Charlotte, working to build approximately 26 miles of contiguous greenways that would eventually connect Cabarrus County to the South Carolina border through Charlotte. You hearing that feedback?
Yeah, I'm gonna mute everybody and then you might need to unmute yourself.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Much better, okay. All right, so the Carolina Tread Trail is a regional effort that aims to develop 1,500 miles of trails through 15 counties and 2 states, which includes Mecklenburg County, of course. The Morrisville to Charlotte Trail is a multi-jurisdictional initiative working to develop approximately 30 miles of greenway from Charlotte to Morrisville. As our miles of greenway continue to multiply, so has our greenway maintenance and operations team. After we build them, they work very hard to keep our greenways clean and safe. So we encourage you to go out and enjoy Mecklenburg County's beautiful greenways, especially now that the days are getting cooler and the leaves are changing colors. But please follow some basic safety tips for the enjoyment and safety of all, such as walk with a friend, keep to the right and pass to the left. If you're gonna walk your doggy, please have the dog on a leash. Don't stand still, avoid walking more than 2 abreast, cross streets carefully, and always be aware of your surroundings and always lock your valuables out of sight. Just some general safety tips. As more people go outdoors to enjoy the greenways and nature, it is very important to follow the CDC guidelines to protect yourself and others from COVID-19. So definitely wear a cloth covering over your nose and mouth when in public places, indoor and outdoor, where physical distancing of 6 feet from others not in your household is not possible. Wait 6 feet apart to avoid close contact with others. Wash your hands frequently or use hand sanitizer and be safe. So I have a YouTube video that's approximately 6 minutes long that I would love to share with you, and it will give you a better feel for Mecklenburg County's greenways from a community perspective. But before I share the video, I would like to open it up for questions if anybody has any.
Any questions?
Or should I go straight to the video?
If anybody, you can unmute.
Oh, we'll go to questions.
If you have any questions, you need to unmute yourself because I muted everybody. Okay.
Where can you get a map of the trails?
I have actually added some links in your chat, and one of the links is the link of the master plan. So you will see the existing greenways, and you will see different colors for greenways that are currently in design or construction. So those are greenways that are coming up. And then you'll also see greenways in the future. In addition to that, I added a link that shows maps of existing greenways, and this is more like a greenway section by greenway section, more detail, more specific. You know, it will show parking or, you know, a trailhead or a little bit more information as to where you are for a particular greenway. Any other questions? Should I go to the video?
Yeah, we can go to the video unless anybody has any other questions. You need to unmute yourself if you do. Otherwise, we'll just move on to the video. And you can copy and paste if you want to. Pull up the chat and then just copy. You know, kind of right click and highlight and copy, and then you can copy it to somewhere else. Or you can go back to this video from the YMCA YouTube page or from their website, and then you can click on it from there as well. Okay.
And then we could, you know, we could open it up for more questions or comments or anything that you might want to share after the video. Okay. So I'll stop sharing this and then there we go. Everybody can hear and see it?
And then people out just strolling. One of the things I've heard years is people saying to me, it's like to go out and just look at nature and just reflect. It's a way to get away from life's deals that they're dealing with right now, which may be a health issue, it may be a stress issue, and they have found the Greenway is their way to get away.
We use the greenways a lot because we like to bike down to the parks and everything. And I think it's really convenient how it all connects up, and it's really easy to use. Like our family can just bike, just everyone gets on bikes and goes down the greenway. We all end up here, even though we can just get on a road a little bit and then we get on the greenway and then all the way down. It's a lot of fun.
But the main thing is that the neighbors use it and they meet each other. We didn't used to have a place where people knew that they could go and meet each other. We have Easter egg hunts there for the kids at Easter. We have a party down there every October where we have a movie screen and we bring a projector or the generator, and we have a picnic, and we have a community garden down there. Can you tell I love it?
Yeah.
I was very excited here we were getting a greenway because I love nature and I love being out taking walks in nature. And when I heard we were getting a greenway, I thought this was a perfect opportunity for me to take walks out in nature with my husband or my friends or my dogs.
My first exposure to the Greenway was with my grandchildren. I have two grandchildren. They're 9 and 11 now, but when they were toddlers, this was our playground, and we could find turtles and birds and all kinds of nature. So
I think that any property owner would tout the Greenway as a feature of their property, especially if it abutted Greenway. I mean, how much nicer could it be to have your land adjacent to parkland? It's never going to be developed. It's always going to be maintained by another entity. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a feature of the city of Charlotte, especially as our Greenway system expands, hopefully, over the years. Then it will plug you into that network that will allow you to see the rest of Charlotte, not from the road, but from a lovely path.
I think for our neighborhood, it's been 100% positive. In fact, most of the people, when houses go for sale in our area, they make sure they mention the Greenway is nearby, and that seems to be a selling point. Certainly on our street, and probably for the whole neighborhood.
I want my next house next to a greenway, for sure.
So I had the pleasure this weekend of actually, my kids were home and we started at Park Road Shopping Center and went down Little Sugar Creek and took our bikes and just rode all the way, beyond through that Myers Park neighborhood, all the way down to the end. I think it's the end. I think it goes all the way beyond, but it takes you down to that shopping center, Metropolitan Shopping Center. I think it goes a little bit beyond that as well. An amazing, beautiful bike ride along the creek there behind the atrium, or in front of, I guess, behind whatever, the Atrium Hospital. Super gorgeous, very easy bike ride, so pretty. And then came back, and then we went to lunch, sat outside and ate lunch. There's Amelie's that is there at Park Road, which is wonderful, and there's other places. The Park Road Shopping Center's got lots of little outdoor places to eat now. So it was a really, really great way to spend the day. So this is the first time I've done that, first all the way down and back, and it was just lovely. So I was really happy for that.
That is wonderful. And that brings me up to a question I wanted to ask everybody. Who from the group has gone to one of our greenways within the past 6 to 12 months? Maybe you could, chime in or put it in the chat.
Carolyn, I know you have, right?
Yes, hi. I was trying to find my video. I just went today to the new part off of Sardis Road. They built a nice parking area there, and you can ride your bike or walk for quite a distance. Very pretty part.
Nice.
I just went yesterday to Park Road Park and that new section that they added. So you can get to, behind Portofino's all the way to Huntingtown Farms Elementary School.
Yeah, and you can go all the way up beyond that, all the way down to 485, where Target shopping center is from there, which is if you want to go that far, and that's great too. And I can't wait till that all connects. That's the next, do you know when, Joyce, do you know when that's going to connect?
Well, we are aggressively aggressively working towards the 2023, you know, having it all connected. But of course, you know, there's complications.
Yes.
But that's our goal. That's our very aggressive goal.
Well, yeah, there's a lot in between there. You know, in order to, from a land, you know, she works on land acquisition. So I'm sure it's figuring out that connection is probably a lot. So, and then from 485, where is the plan from there? Do you know if I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm curious to see if you know where does that go? Do you know?
Well, from 485, it's supposed to connect all the way to the South Carolina state line. So it's supposed to connect to the Polk Historic Site. And then from there, that's a project. From 485 to the Polk Historic Site is one project. I believe if they haven't started construction, they're getting close. Don't quote me on that, I'm sorry.
That's
and then from the Polk Historic Site all the way to the South Carolina state line, that's still in design. But yeah, those projects are funded and they have been underway.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be very nice. Little Sugar Creek Greenway, you know, from beginning to end. I believe it's supposed to be about 15 miles long by 2023 or maybe a little bit after, but it's all funded.
That's fabulous. Carolyn, I think, put a message in the chat about volunteers. Do you guys need volunteers?
I'm pretty sure we do. I think everything with COVID has changed the whole volunteering program, but we do have a volunteers coordinator that works aggressively to, you know, coordinate a lot of things, you know, around greenways and around parks. And in our website, you can find some information about volunteering. I'm not really sure how, if we're, you know, opening that back up again, you know, for the safety of, you know, volunteers and staff, but hopefully soon. We always need volunteers, I'm sure.
Good. Hey, Diane. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
Joyce, is the Park Road access going to be finished soon? You know, right there at Tyvola and Park Road?
Well, I do not know the actual details of, you know, certain projects because I'm not the planner for that particular project. But the website will have some information about our current capital projects and what some of those deadlines are. So let me see if I could pull it up quickly over here and see where we are with that.
So it was on Saturday, and the weather was beautiful, and just going through on the edge of, you know, down Freedom Park. I mean, it's just a whole new perspective on our city, whether you're walking or riding a bike. It's just phenomenal. Kind of forget what a, you know, vibrant city we're in, and there's a lot of activity over at Freedom Park right now too, with lots of people outside, lots of kids, games, all kinds of stuff. So I encourage you, if you haven't been, to explore it.
So I'm over here, I'm sharing a little bit of our website.
Oh, that's great.
And if you go over here, I believe there's a link to volunteering and getting involved. So you may want to click there and find out what's going on. And then over here where it says new projects or planning for the future is where you'll find some information about some of our current projects. And I believe you were asking for Little Sugar Creek Greenway. It's a lot of information over here. So the Polk Historic Site to the state line, it is currently in design and is projected to start construction sometime soon, winter 2020. We'll see if that's still good. And then Huntingtown Parks to 485, that's the one we've been talking about. The 485 to the Polk Historic Site, this particular section of Greenway is in construction and the completion is projected, oh, I don't think that's right, but it's probably getting close to being completed sometime soon.
That's correct.
To the Polk Historic Site. And then there's another section that connects to the Huntington Farms Park, and that's in construction right now and projected to be completed spring 2021. So those are the Little Sugar Creek Greenway projects. And then you can find over here information about parks and greenways and our master plan and all kinds of good stuff.
One of the things that occurred to me as I was going through there, you can rent, can't you, in terms of outside, since a lot of people are trying to stay outside, you can rent a space in the covered spaces there, right? Is this something you can speak of? I know it's not what you do directly, but can't you rent shelters?
The open shelters?
Mm-hmm.
I cannot say with 100% certainty, but I've definitely seen people using them. I believe we're back to being able to rent some of the shelters, but I cannot say for sure. I'm sorry.
Is that on the website? Is that on the website here in terms of finding that information?
Yeah, if you go down to activities over here or facilities to reserve online, that's where you will look for a particular park, a particular shelter, and try to reserve it online.
Okay.
And then I wanted to show you, like when you go to Parks and Greenways, and then Greenways is somewhere in here. Here it is. There's an area over here where it says existing greenways. And this is where I said you could find the information about the individual greenways. So for instance, let's say, I don't know, 4 Mile Creek Greenway for fun and giggles. So it'll show you a little bit of information where you could go and park, some kind of interesting things to look at. And in here, you will click on the map. And this would be, you know, a more specific map for the Greenway where you can know what you will connect to. Over here at the elementary school, downtown Matthews, Squirrel Lake Park, and where you could go and park. So these individual maps are in our website. And then all this is in the link. So I just wanted to share with you a little bit so you could find out more information. This is the Greenway Master Plan. And in this master plan, this is very, it has a lot of information and it's kind of large to share it in the presentation, but it has a lot of very good information. And you could zoom in and you can see that, you know, the black is like existing greenways that are on the ground right now. And then kind of like that pinkish, magenta, orange, and blue are projects that are current projects. So by 2023, ideally, they would be on the ground and turn over to black, to existing. And then the dotted lines all over the county are future greenways. So this has a lot of good information about our current master plan. And again, like I mentioned before, we are embarking on a master planning process where the Department of Parks and Recreation is doing a new master plan for all of our facilities and amenities. And hopefully you have heard some information about it, but I included a link to the website for the master planning process. Plenty of opportunity to get involved and share your thoughts and share your comments and be part of the process still. And that will, you know, that will inform the future master plan for Greenways and for the department. And also it will inform future funding.
That's great. Where does most of your funding come from?
Used to be bonds, now it's PAYGO. Not 100% sure, but internally. And we do partner with the Department of Transportation, and we also apply for NCDOT grants for some greenways. So we have gotten some of the funding externally that way.
Oh, that's great. And you might not know, I know I'm asking you there's so many aspects of all this, but is there like an app that you can get on your phone that can pull maps to, or at least be able to pull maps like from your phone?
That is so great you asked that, because we are working on developing something like that. Not so much an app, but an interactive map where you could kind of like put your address and it'll take you to the nearest greenway, or you can search for a greenway and then it will, it's just more interactive, and you could pull in and you could know what's in there, what kind of amenities are at a greenway or at a park. So that's in the works.
Oh, that's great.
It's called a park locator. So hopefully, I'm not sure, what's the timeline on that, but it's definitely something that's being worked on by our, different teams within the department.
Right.
That's
fabulous.
Yeah, that will be great. That would be very nice.
Does anybody have any questions about the greenways, or for Joyce about plans or acquisitions or anything, your experiences? I mean, hopefully, if you haven't had any opportunity to explore some of these greenways, they're all around us. Wherever you live, there's a greenway closed. So, it's a perfect time of year to go.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It is definitely a good time to go and to go into the greenways and see the leaves changing colors. And sometimes it's really hot in Charlotte, so it's kind of nice that it's cooler now. It's really a good time to go out to the greenway.
Yeah.
Okay. And all these different links over here, I added them. I just wanted to remind you that I added them all to the chat all the way at the beginning. So feel free to copy and paste them somewhere. Some good information, my contact information as well was added to the chat. So please feel free to contact me anytime. Any questions, any comments, any concerns. If I don't know the answer, I'll definitely find the answer or point you to the right direction. But there's a lot of really good information. And I wanted to point out the MEC Playbook website. It's in here. And if you go to that site, it'll give you a little bit of information about the master planning process and how you can get involved and be part of that, the future of Mecklenburg County's Park and Recreation Department.
Wow. Well, Joyce, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a perfect time of year to be thinking about this, and obviously come, as the weather just continues to be lovely, it's a great time to go. And then, even wintertime, and the winters can be very mild, so, you can take advantage then, and before we know it, spring will be here. So, and right now during COVID, it's just it's a great way to enjoy nature. So I'm just so grateful to you for coming on and being with us today. And I appreciate you guys showing up, being with us today as well. And,
yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next week, we are going to be talking about brain health. Talk about brain health, normal brain health functions, a little bit about Alzheimer's, things you can do to not go down that road, keep your brain healthy. So healthy lifestyles for our heads. We're talking about going to greenways, keeping our bodies healthy, but next week we'll be talking a little about what we can do with our brain. So hope you'll join us next week. Same